All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am V. Ravi Kumar. The headlines. Home Minister Amit Shah says economy has moved from policy paralysis, scams and corruption to bold and transparent decisions. Government launches a drive to enroll 1 crore beneficiaries under 2 pension schemes for unorganized workers and small traders. Campaigning picks up for second and third phase of assembly elections in Jharkhand. In Iraq, Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi resigns amid ongoing anti-government protests across the country. And in sports, Indian Shuttler Sourabh Verma to take on Wang of Taiwan in the men's singles final of the Syed Modi International tournament in Lucknow. Home Minister Amit Shah said the Indian economy has moved from the era of policy paralysis, scams and corruption pre-2014 to an era of bold, transparent and decisive decision-making under the Narendra Modi government. Mr. Shah said this while delivering a keynote address at the Economic Times Awards for Corporate Excellence in Mumbai yesterday. The Home Minister said the last 5 years were of detoxification of the economy, and in the next 5 years, a series of reforms will be taken to make India one of the most powerful economies of the world. He has expressed hope that by 2024, India will become a $5 trillion economy with a place among the top 5 global economies.
2014 में देश के अर्थतंत्र की तालिका में जो टेबल था उसमें 11वें नंबर पर खड़े थे और 2 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी के आकार के साथ हम दुनिया के सामने खड़े थे और 5 साल के बाद आज 11 नंबर से 7वें नंबर पर आए हैं और 2.9 ट्रिलियन तक पहुंचे हैं और मुझे पूरा भरोसा है 2024 के अंदर $5 ट्रिलियन की इकोनॉमी के लक्ष्य को हम अचीव कर विश्व के सामने खड़े हैं.
The Home Minister asserted that the current slowdown in the economy is a temporary phase. He expressed hope that Indian industry and Indian market will tide over this crisis. Mr. Shah said the decision not to join the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership was taken in the interest of industry as India already has free trade agreements with China, Australia and New Zealand. The government is planning to enroll 1 crore beneficiaries under the Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Man Dhan PMSYM and the National Pension Scheme for Traders and Self-Employed Persons NPS Traders by March next year. Labour and Employment Minister Santosh Kumar Gangwar launched the drive for enrolment under the 2 schemes at a function to mark the celebrations of Pension Week. He said the government has set a target to add 3 crore small traders, shopkeepers and self-employed persons in this scheme in the next 6 years.
हमें आशा है कि अगले 6 सालों में करीब 3 करोड़ लघु व्यापारी, दुकानदार तथा स्वरोजगारियों को इस योजना से जोड़ने तथा 2019-20 के वित्तीय वर्ष में करीब 50 लाख लोगों को इस योजना के दायरे में लाने का हमने लक्ष्य रखा है. हमारी इच्छा है अगले मार्च 2020 तक हमारा लक्ष्य है कि कम से कम 1 करोड़ लोगों को इस योजना के अंतर्गत हम लोग ले आए.
Monthly contribution in the schemes has been kept at the lowest level, ranging between 55 rupees and 200 rupees, depending on the entry ages of subscribers. The centre has decided to enhance the capacity of 6 central forensic science laboratories in the area of forensic psychology, involving external experts. This will facilitate more efficient and scientific investigation in serious and heinous crimes. A Memorandum of Understanding MOU has been executed between the Directorate of Forensic Science Services New Delhi and Institute of Behavioral Sciences, Gujarat Forensic Science University, Ahmedabad. The MOU is expected to enhance partnership between academicians and practitioners and give a fillip to capacity building for forensic investigation, as also cutting-edge research in the sector. Forensic psychology is one of the emerging areas of forensic science in India, and it primarily involves use of applied clinical psychology in criminal justice. In Jharkhand, campaigning is gaining momentum in the areas where assembly elections will be held for the second and the third phase. 20 constituencies will go to polls in the second phase on the 7th of December, while polling in 17 constituencies spread over 8 districts will be held in the third phase on the 12th of this month. Senior party leaders of BJP, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, Jharkhand Vikas Morcha and All Jharkhand Students Union are addressing election rallies. Besides Congress, leaders of RJD and left parties are also holding public meetings to attract voters. A report from our correspondent.
Addressing election rally in Chakradharpur, senior BJP leader and Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan alleged opposition parties are misguiding people to gain votes. In Saraikela, senior BJP leader and Chief Minister Raghubar Das said that JMM is doing politics for vote bank only and people should be alert. JMM leader Hemant Soren exhorted people to change BJP government for speedy development in the state. JVM President Babulal Marandi said if his party is voted to power, CNTS-PT Act would be enforced firmly. Besides left parties, Congress leaders are also addressing rallies to woo voters. With KK Lal from Ranchi, this is Ritu Srivastava, AIR News.
Tomorrow is the last date for withdrawal of nomination papers for the fourth phase of assembly elections to be held on 16th of December. 230 candidates are left in the fray after scrutiny of papers. Filing of nomination papers continue for the fifth and final phase. Voting for the first phase of assembly elections was held yesterday, during which an estimated 64.44% polling was recorded. Union Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi has said the dropout rate among girl students from minority communities has plunged to 35% now from 70% in 2014. Addressing a valedictory session of Madrasa Teachers Training Program in Mumbai, Mr. Naqvi said Madrasa teachers are now being trained to impart education in mainstream formal subjects and other regional languages. He added that training is being conducted by reputed institutions. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, use our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com. World AIDS Day is being observed today to raise public awareness about acquired immunodeficiency syndrome AIDS. It's a pandemic disease caused due to the infection of human immunodeficiency virus HIV. The day also provides an opportunity for people to unite in the fight against HIV and to show support for those living with HIV. This year, the theme is Communities Make the Difference. A report.
World AIDS Day is observed on December 1st every year since 1988, and each year different organizations across the world bring attention to the HIV epidemic and endeavor to increase HIV awareness and knowledge. According to National AIDS Control Organization, India has demonstrated an overall reduction of 57% in estimated annual new HIV infections. The government is implementing National AIDS Control Program as a 100% central sector scheme for prevention and control of AIDS. The government has also developed a 7-year national strategic plan to achieve the sustainable development goal of ending AIDS as a public health threat by 2030. Desk report.
In Iraq, Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi has formally submitted his resignation to the parliament. Lawmakers were expected to either vote or accept outright Abdul Mahdi's resignation letter in a parliamentary session today. The Prime Minister announced on Thursday that he would hand the Parliament his resignation amid mounting pressure from mass anti-government protests after more than 40 demonstrators were killed by security forces in Baghdad and southern Iraq. The announcement also came after Iraq's top Shiite cleric withdrew his support for the government in a weekly sermon. A Special Prevention of Money Laundering Act PMLA court in Mumbai has rejected bail pleas of Harun Yusuf and Humayun Merchant, the alleged associates of gangster Iqbal Mirchi. The Enforcement Directorate ED had arrested the four in October under PMLA in connection with a probe into illegal real estate deals of Iqbal Mirchi. The court, however, granted bail to two other accused, alleged middlemen Ranjit Bindra and Rinku Deshpande. The agency is probing purchase of 3 properties by Mirchi in Varli area in Mumbai in September 1986 for 6.5 lakh rupees through his Rockside enterprise. Mirchi, who died in London in 2013, was in aid of fugitive gangster Dawood Ibrahim. The Ministry of Environment gave away awards for a short film competition on environment yesterday. Additional Secretary in the Environment Ministry, Ravi Agarwal, presented the awards to several school students and professionals for their documentaries and films in a glittering ceremony in New Delhi. The award distribution ceremony was the culmination of the 4-day festival where all the shortlisted films were showcased. Out of the 345 entries received, 90 films were nominated for screening before the jury, comprising film directors Ramesh Sippi, Rahul Ravel and Manju Bora, who selected the final awardees. The 4-day Green Festival was inaugurated on Wednesday by Member of Parliament Suresh Prabhu, who chaired the jury. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar had announced the festival in June this year during the World Environment Day celebrations. And now on to news from World of Sports.
In badminton, Indian Shuttler Sourabh Verma will take on Wang of Taiwan in the men's singles final of the Syed Modi International Tournament in Lucknow today. World number 36, Sourabh defeated 44th ranked Kwang of Korea 21-17, 16-21, 21-18 in a semi-final match yesterday. In tennis, veteran Leander Paes bettered his own Davis Cup record at the Kazakhstan capital of Nur Sultan by winning his 44th doubles match. Partnering with debutant Jeevan Neduncharian, the Indian duo blanked Pakistan 4-0 to earn a spot in the 2020 qualifiers. Pakistani teenagers Mohammad Shoaib and Hufaiza Abdul Rahman were no match for the Indian combination of the battle-hardened Paes and Jeevan, who needed just 53 minutes to win 6-1, 6-3. In volleyball, Indian men's team will take on Sri Lanka in the semi-final of the 13th South Asian Games in Kathmandu today. Earlier, Indian women's team stormed into the final after crushing Maldives in the semi-final last evening. Meanwhile, the opening ceremony of the 13th South Asian Games will be held in Kathmandu this evening. Sports Desk.
The Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports had constituted an expert committee headed by a retired Supreme Court judge to review the draft National Code for Good Governance in Sports 2017. The ministry told this to the Delhi High Court in its affidavit. The expert committee would suggest measures for making it acceptable to all the stakeholders, and a balance is struck between the National Sports Federation and NSF vis-à-vis the need for transparency and accountability. And in some foreign news, in Bangladesh, the waterways transport workers have called off its strike after government agreed to implement their demands. The decision came after the representatives of workers and owners of the transport services held a long discussion with the government late last night. The strike had brought river communications around the country to a halt, disrupting communication and businesses. The workers were on an indefinite strike since Friday midnight in support of their 11-point charter of demands. They include implementation of wage scale announced in 2016, providing appointment letter, ID cards and service book, food allowance, ensuring social safety of workers, and providing a compensation of 10 lakh Bangladeshi taka to a worker in case of his death while on duty. Namibia's President Hage Geingob has won the country's presidential elections, securing a second term despite a recession and a corruption scandal that has fueled popular discontent. However, the long-time ruling party Southwest of Africa People's Organization SWAPO has lost its powerful two-thirds majority in its most challenging election since independence nearly 30 years ago. And now for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Nishit Kumar.
Thank you, Ravi. Most newspapers have prominently featured a picture of a triumphant Uddhav Thackeray after winning the trust vote on its front page. Peaceful completion of the first phase of Jharkhand polls has also found prominence in many dailies today. According to an internal note of the Finance Ministry, GST leads to Rs 320 monthly savings for households, reports the Hindustan Times. Business Standard says, day after GDP data, PM Defence government's record, the paper quotes the PM as saying that the first 6 months have been phenomenal and more measures would be taken for development. The Times of India headlines, past wrongdoings resolved, no need for fear, Shah to India Inc. Mr. Shah acknowledged the slowdown but expressed confidence that the country would emerge from it, adds the paper. The Hindu reports any to be shielded from citizenship law impact. The paper says Home Minister Amit Shah has assured that new citizens will not be allowed to settle in the region. And finally, there is good news for year-end travellers. According to Financial Express, airfares on key domestic routes have so far not seen the usual spike for travel during Christmas and New Year. And with that, it's back to you, Ravi.
Thank you, Nishit. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Home Minister Amit Shah says economy has moved from policy paralysis, scams and corruption to bold and transparent decisions. Government launches a drive to enroll 1 crore beneficiaries under 2 pension schemes for unorganized workers and small traders. Campaigning picks up for second and third phase of assembly elections in Jharkhand. In Iraq, Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi resigns amid ongoing anti-government protests across the country. And in sports, Indian Shuttler Sourabh Verma to take on Wang of Taiwan in the men's singles final of the Syed Modi International Tournament in Lucknow. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.